Okay, so AI, it feels like it's everywhere, right? You can't escape it. Headlines, products, everyone's talking about it, but what do you really need to know? Well, today we're doing a deep dive with Francesco Pungitore.
Definitely.
And this is a guy who gets it. I mean, besides being, an AI expert and educator, he's also the director of the National Observatory for Minors and Artificial Intelligence in Italy.
Oh, wow.
Right. Talk
Right.
about commitment.
Yeah,
And he really brings it back to the core of what AI is, not just the code, but how it's like woven into everything we do.
absolutely. Francesco really emphasizes the societal impact. Like, this isn't just tech, it's changing how we work, how we learn, even what it means to be human. This
Yeah.
isn't deep blue and chess anymore.
Exactly. It's like your phone translating a call on the fly or social media knowing just what to show you. That's AI doing its thing right now.
And it's moving so fast. Francesco talks about these massive global investments, like billions and billions pouring into research. It's like a race, really, with the US and China leading the charge, and it's going to change everything.
And for our listeners, that means the jobs of the future, they're being created or automated as we speak.
Exactly. And Francesco's point is that this isn't like good or bad inherently. Some jobs go, new ones pop up. The key takeaway is you got to adapt, get those new skills.
So how do we do that? Future-proof ourselves in the AI age.
Well, he has this great point where he says it's not enough to know the tools, it's the logic behind them. Like, don't just memorize the names, understand the why, not just the what.
So it's like using your smartphone versus knowing how all the networks and signals actually work.
Exactly. He uses the example of ChatGPT. Fun to play with, sure, but he's like, go deeper. What's the tech that makes it pick? How does understanding that give you an edge?
Right. It's not just typing whatever into ChatGPT. He has this whole thing about prompt engineering, like how you got to craft the right question to get the real magic out of it.
And that's where understanding the logic comes in.
Hmm.
You're not just pushing buttons, you're like the conductor of the AI orchestra, not just one of the musicians.
Love that analogy. So let's talk about what ChatGPT can actually do. It's not just a fancy chatbot, is it? There's some pretty powerful stuff under the hood.
Totally. Francesco highlights its potential in so many areas, analyzing documents, generating different creative text formats.
Oh, and he mentioned that thing on the Samsung S24, the real-time translation. ChatGPT can do that too, apparently.
Perfect example. And think about the implications, right?
Hmm.
For interpreters, for language learning.
Hmm.
It's disruptive, for sure.
But like we were saying, it's not about AI replacing us. It's about figuring out how we adapt and use these tools effectively.
And, with all this AI hype, Francesco's like, hold on a sec. Like, we got to be realistic. This isn't some magic wand.
Right. So it's not all like sunshine and AI puppies. What are some potential downsides he brings up?
Well, one thing he's big on is bias. Like, algorithms, they're only as good as the data we feed them, right?
And we've seen this play out already. I mean, hiring algorithms, loan applications, even in the justice system, they end up reflecting our own biases, sometimes even making them worse.
Exactly. And that kind of leads into another big thing Francesco talks about.
Hit me with it. What else is he saying?
This idea of, get this, artificial general intelligence, AGI.
AGI. Okay, now we're getting serious. What is that exactly?
So, like, all this AI we're talking about now, it's good at specific things. Translating, playing chess, whatever. AGI, that's like next level. AI that can learn, understand, apply knowledge, like across the board. Like humans, kind of.
Instead of one amazing trick, it's got the whole package.
Right. Imagine AI that can not only translate languages, but compose music, design buildings, even do like scientific research. That's the whole AGI deal.
Okay, that's both really cool and kind of freaking me out.
Definitely both. And Francesco, he gets that. He's like, yeah, huge potential, but huge implications too.
So where do you even begin to wrap your head around AGI? It seems so big.
He says the first step is understanding the impact it could have. Like, what's our role going to be as humans with this super-powered AI? How do we make sure it's used for good? Big questions, right?
Huge. And probably no easy answers. Sounds like he's saying we need to start this conversation now before it's too late.
Exactly. It's not about stopping progress, but being smart about it.
Less Terminator, more like thoughtful exploration of what this future could be. I'm into that.
Totally. And a big part of that, Francesco says, is research into AI ethics.
AI ethics. Break that down for me. What does that even mean?
So it's making sure AI is developed ethically, aligning with our values, actually benefiting humanity, dealing with bias, protecting privacy, making these systems transparent and accountable.
So basically, as AI gets smarter, we got to make sure it's being used to make the world better, not just like more AI-ified.
Nailed it. And that's where Francesco's work with the National Observatory for Minors and AI is so important.
How so?
Well, they focus on how AI impacts kids, making sure it's used to benefit them, keep them safe, all that.
Makes sense. Kids are particularly vulnerable with new tech, right?
Exactly. And it shows how Francesco's thinking long term. Like, what's the impact of AI going to be on future generations? We can't just focus on the now.
Definitely not. These conversations are crucial, especially as AI keeps weaving its way into, well, everything.
Absolutely. And while Francesco's real about the risks and challenges, he's optimistic about AI's potential. He thinks if we're smart, responsible, it can solve some of our biggest problems, create a better future for everyone.
I like that. It's good to hear someone so knowledgeable also be hopeful, you know? But he's not ignoring the tough stuff either, right?
Oh, no way. He's realistic about the downsides. But his main message, it's about hope and taking charge. If we understand AI, we can help shape it, make sure it's a force for good.
I love that. Understanding as a form of action, not just watching it happen, but actively creating the future we want with AI. It's like we're not just along for the ride, we're actually holding the steering wheel a little bit, right?
Totally. And I think that's what I find so refreshing about Francesco's approach. He's not just telling us about AI. He's like, here are the tools to understand it, to question it, to shape where it goes.
Yeah, becoming active participants, not just like standing on the sidelines watching it happen.
Exactly. And he's clear, this isn't just for the techies. These bigger conversations about ethics, about how this affects society, what kind of future we're building with this stuff, everyone's invited.
It's got to be for everyone, right? Making sure AI benefits all of us, not just a select few.
100%. And it's a conversation we all need to be part of. Techie or not, your voice, what you think, it matters.
So for our listeners who are like, all right, I'm convinced, where do we even start? How do you jump into this whole AI future discussion?
Francesco keeps it simple. He's like, just learn, read articles, listen to podcasts, hint, hint, go to webinars, whatever. The more you know, the better you can be part of these conversations that really matter.
Become an informed citizen of the AI age. I like it.
Right. It's not just about the tech itself. It's the values we bake into it, the choices we make about how it gets used. Building a future where AI elevates us, not the other way around.
Now that's what I'm talking about. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground. From the nuts and bolts of AI to this mind-blowing AGI thing, all through the eyes of Francesco Pungitore. Huge opportunities, real challenges, and most importantly, our role in all of it. It's not predetermined.
Absolutely not. It's a future bursting with possibility, and if we approach it thoughtfully, we can use AI to build a fairer, more prosperous world for everyone. I really believe that.
I'm with you on that. And on that note, huge thanks to you, our listeners, for joining us for this deep dive. Keep exploring, keep asking those big questions, and we'll catch you next time.